Chris, this is the tribute room here in Indianapolis. And today I'm going to try to add my banner to this wall of champions that were before me. And as I bowl, I want to thank you for filling in for me as a commentator.
Hey, Norm, no problem. But tell me, is Randy always like this before a show?
Yeah, he'll be all right. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you guys, come on. It's time for the show. Let's get moving. Let's go. Randy, come on. The Duke of Bowling is back. After battling an injury, His Royal Highness returns. His accomplishments are legendary. A 300 game on TV, 25 tour wins, 9th all-time. His subjects, loyal. And with a win today, he'll ignite his quest for a Player of the Year crown. Standing his way are 4 Knights of Bowling's round table, each set to battle each other for the right to challenge the Duke. Who will emerge victorious? The PBA Pepsi Championship starts now.
Don't go nowhere!
Here in Indianapolis, we bowl the round-robin match play format, starting with 2 7-game blocks of qualifying for the round of 64. The top 32 then entered into 9 games of round-robin match play. The field was cut to the top 16. 9 more games of round-robin match play took place. The top 5 from that round made today's show. Here is the stepladder bracket. The 5th seed Mike DeVaney needed an extra 1-game roll-off Friday night to defeat Michael Haugen Jr. After the 2 tied for the 5th spot following the position match. Tony Reyes will take on DeVaney to start the day. The winner will bowl Ryan Shafer in search of his first title of the year. From there, Jeff Carter takes on the victor as the 2 seed. He's made his 2nd straight show. And the top seed is our very own Norm Duke. Well, hello there, bowling fans. Welcome to Indy, where we'll see, in fact, here at Woodland Bowl in the tribute room, if Norm can put up another victory banner. That is the question. Chris Barnes in for him today in the booth. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Well, yeah, back to the penalty box for me.
And Randy, the question is, are you ready for the show?
Ready, Dave.
All right, good news. Chris, let's start with you. Let's talk about Norm Duke from wire to wire, our leader. Tremendous bowling this week.
Absolutely dominating, Dave. He averaged more than 10 pins a game than his nearest competitor. And he did it using his straight game, much like we saw in Long Island on his way to winning the Columbia 300 Open. He'll be playing just inside the first arrow. That day in Long Island, he won 4 games to win his 25th title. Today, he only needs 1 for number 26.
And guys, Norm told me that the broken toe that kept him out of action for 2 months is 100% healed. And when I asked him if he felt like he still had a shot at Player of the Year honors, he said to me emphatically, yes. Randy, not only do I still have a shot, but I will win Player of the Year honors.
All right, guys, our first match, Mike DeVaney against Tony Reyes. And Chris, we've not seen Tony on TV since early November with his magical day, a 300 and a victory.
And it was a magical day. It's the one we all dream about as a pro. He not only won his first title, but he shot a 300 game on the way. This is something when you dream about as a kid, you practiced all the time. Nothing but perfection on that day for Tony.
The 300 game came against Hall of Famer Parker Bell in the 3rd, and Wes Malott fell to Tony in the final, 255-238.
The Viper pattern, 37 feet in length. A lot of striking went on this week because it wasn't that tough to get to the pocket. 2 ways to get there. Ryan Shafer said he had to play the deep inside line to get the ball down the lane. You could also play pretty straight from out. But keep in mind, Norm Duke absolutely dominated this event, going right to left from the outside part of the lane.
We are set for bowling here from Woodland Bowl, Indianapolis. It's Reyes and DeVaney to begin the day. DeVaney 1 career title in his Denny's PBA tour to date. 2003 Tacoma, Washington. He comes to us from Temecula, California, just outside San Diego, a huge Chargers and Padres fan. And he starts his day in style, all 10 down to the pit for Mike DeVaney.
Mike DeVaney, one of the funniest guys off the lanes, on the lanes, very serious. Before the start of this match, I was down lane side watching Tony Reyes and Mike DeVaney's ball reaction, and Mike said, I have nothing. Tony Reyes said, I have a really good look.
Interesting. We'll see how it plays out. Tony from just outside San Francisco, California. Has all 10 down, each with a good start. This is Tony's 10th career TV show, and Chris Barnes would check out the Ace Hardware matchup. Each just the one career title. And Tony told us yesterday he had hoped his 300 game and the victory we just recapped for you in November would lead to a great season. It's been, since then, a bit disappointing.
Well, yeah, there's no better feeling than when you win that first title. You're full of confidence, and I'm sure he felt like he was going to build on that. However, it hasn't gone like he planned, but this will be a nice pick-me-up at the end of the season.
The good start continues for each.
And Tony did have to battle through some injuries for about 3 or 4 weeks, and you know how tough it is to try to beat the best in the world out here, Chris, when you're feeling 100%. So Tony had a little stretch there where he had some struggles, and he got into some problems physically with his game.
He did, but he's a product of a college program, and he's always been around coaching. He found a way to get out of it and use that coaching to his advantage.
Back to Mike DeVaney, who has a 10-pin. Mike and his wife, Carrie, expecting their first child next couple of months. It will be a son.
Congratulations to the DeVaney family. And I think Mike is feeling like whatever happens today is bonus, because he did actually tie Michael Haugen Jr. for the last spot on the show. They actually had to go to a one-game roll-off where Mike DeVaney took care of that, 248 to 218, and probably feels like it's extended play now.
Well, yeah, it's a second life. He didn't bowl a very good game this round. He said he was very disappointed, threw some bad shots, only shot 199. He did throw a four-bagger late to get there and get that opportunity, but it's second life, and boy, he looks like he could be dangerous with the second life.
Get some late help on the 7-pin, all 10 down for Mike DeVaney. He's had very good seasons in the past. Last year, 7th on the tour in points. 12th this year, certainly will be under the number, which is currently 39 for the exempt list on tour points for next year, meaning he'll have a spot in the 64 bowler exempt field next season. Tony trying to repeat the feat from Detroit back in November. And that's how he did it with a 17th ever 300 game. What a miraculous moment it was for Tony Reyes. So much emotion, dedicating that entire run to his late father.
You notice here, he's playing a line that's not that much different than how he played him in Detroit. He's playing around 8-9. He's further right than everybody but Norm. He hooked him early on in qualifying, qualified fairly low, and then he marched through and was the only guy that challenged Norm at all in average during match play.
And you can see the difference in this oil pattern than a couple of weeks ago at the U.S. Open, where the guys were actually getting it right of that rangefinder down the lane. Right there, you can see that the ball actually hooks from right of that spot.
This looks familiar, guys.
That was for you, LJ. You hang in there, buddy.
Four-bagger to start.
See if you can pick up the rangefinder down the lane, and that ball is about on the 7th or 8th board. And Tony said that his best carry of the week was trying to go straight.
DeVaney tries to keep pace. Cody down by 30. Cuts into the lead with another perfect strike.
I'll tell you what, Rainey, you said he didn't like his look very much. What do you think now?
It doesn't look that bad. And you know as well as I do, as many shows that you've made throughout your career, that there's a lot of times when it doesn't look very good, and about a minute or two before air, all of a sudden things change. Question is, why is that?
Saw Mike on TV. Irving, Texas. Event won by
This guy's moving over here.
Chris Barnes. 4th place there. 7th in Omaha, Council Bluffs. In Parkersburg, 36th. The U.S. Open he bowled well, guys. 7th place, and then here in Indianapolis making TV. So a nice run for Mike DeVaney.
Yeah, he has been bowling awful well, and during the week off between the U.S. Open and here, he didn't take that whole time off. He went ahead and bowled the regional and won last weekend.
All 10 down for Mike DeVaney. Went to a regional in Ohio, and as opposed to taking the week off for the rest of us, a lot of the bowlers needed 4 or 5 days off. Jeff Carter in the show today did not touch a bowling ball over the week span. Had some business to attend to back in Springfield, Illinois, and wanted to physically rest. DeVaney did not, opted to bowl regional and won it, which he said helped his confidence a great deal. Back to Tony.
Wheel.
Yeah, it stays perfect.
The boys threw a lot of strikes this week, and both of these guys had 300 games throughout the week. And remember that Tony Reyes won his first ever title in Detroit. Bowled 300 along the way.
Randy to the Motel 6 frame. Tony is throwing the front 5. Striking the 6th here. He'll earn $600 from Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. Also eligible for a $6,000 bonus if he throws a front 6 more than any other bowler on TV. Randy, it's about the...
Well, as Chris knows all about the Benjamins. Right here, all about the Benjis.
Didn't like it. Hey, almost crossed over for a Brooklyn strike, crossing over the head pin to get that lucky strike. Instead, he leaves a 10 pin, and he loses out on $600 from Motel 6.
He's been crossing about the 8th board. That one was right about the 12th one. He's lucky he didn't leave some shoe paint on that one.
Well, you know, Chris, maybe you should talk to Tony after the show, because apparently you're a little bit better at that crossover than he is.
Well, a great start for Tony Reyes with the front 5. He's already had his 300 game on TV this year. Right now, he's got a healthy lead on Mike DeVaney, match number 1. Underway, the Pepsi Championship here in Indianapolis. Tony Reyes, thanks to the front 5, has a lead on Mike DeVaney here. First match, Stepladder bowling from Woodland Bowl, Indianapolis. Next week, we're headed off to Grand Rapids, Michigan for the 3rd of our 4 majors. We can't wait. 2 o'clock Eastern time, different start time than today. Be sure to mark that down. 2 o'clock Eastern, Denny's World Championship, $100,000 on the line. A multi-season exemption as well. Last year in this very building, Woodland Bowl, Indianapolis, World Championship took place. Walter Ray Williams Jr. won it. 4-season exemption, $100,000. Tied Earl Anthony's record, 41 titles. Today, it's Mike DeVaney here at Woodland Bowl with all 10 down as he climbs back in the match.
Randy, you alluded to how much the lanes can change there at the end of practice. You've had it where it looks really good, and then it changes 1-2 minutes before, which is the worst thing can happen. Looks like the best thing happened for Mike. Went the other way.
Yeah, it really does. And as you know, when you start to get a good look, then you get free. Your swing gets free. You get loose, and you get some confidence, and the nerves go away. And he looks like he's got a real nice look. That, however, was a not so good shot. Gets a nice break here, trips the split out, almost leaves the 4-10. The 10 falls late, and he'll, with a spare here, will only trail by 10 in this match.
Gladly take that break. We saw him on TV last in Irving, Texas, where Chris won. He lost to John May in the semifinals. Chris defeated John for the championship a few weeks back. His last title goes all the way back, guys, to 2003, January 5th. A win over Bob Learn Jr. Mr. 300 in the final. He had to take on Norm Duke, beat our Norm Duke, 279-248. Been that long for Mike DeVaney. Tony has 1 title as well. Can he make it 2 today?
Perfect shot. That's a little better. One more here. Come on. One more here. Oh, nice and smooth. Come on.
Tony winless, 145 events to start his career before his win in Taylor this past November. The former collegiate star at San Jose State. Yeah! Perfect shot again, Chris, and you know about collegiate bowling from your days at Wichita State, what that means to Tony's career.
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience in this format. And you listen here, he liked this one.
Yeah! First team All-American, San Jose State, 93-95. Had some great years in college. Mike DeVaney, also Californian, but from SoCal. Has him down. And Randy continues to put the pressure on Tony.
Yeah, well, I think it's the other way around, though, quite honestly, David. you know, Mike DeVaney can still shoot 259, but Tony Reyes is going at a 279 pace, and in my opinion, the only chance Mike DeVaney has in this match is if he strikes out.
Stay there. Stay there.
Yeah!
Baby.
Yeah!
It did,
Go,
Mike.
right there. Going nowhere. I'm going nowhere. I'm right there.
Randy talked about how Mike had to take on Michael Houghton Jr. positioning round match after that was bold, as we see his perfect shot. He said nerves got to him a bit in that last match. How about his nerves now? How does he look to you?
He looks real good, and you know, Mike DeVaney, known for a big hook guy. He likes to get in real deep and then fire the ball to the right, but as you can see, just another example of the greatest athletes out here on the tour. The greatest bowlers are versatile. They can play the lanes a lot of different ways.
And Tony has his path to the pocket perfected for now.
This guy just won't quit.
No, that's a great shot. I really liked what Mike did there. He tried to ratchet up the intensity, just letting Tony know he was in it, made a little noise. There was enough on the line already, but he amped it up a little bit, and Tony answered right back. But Tony's no stranger to this place. This is his second show in 3 years in this building.
And if he strikes on this ball and gets reasonable count, he's going to advance. If he doesn't strike on this ball, Mike DeVaney can get up and strike out to win. Oh, yeah. That puts him in the 260s. All he has to do now is get good count, stay behind the foul line, and Tony Reyes is going to advance and take on Ryan Shafer.
Ryan Shafer is the 3 seed. It's Stepladder bowling here. The winner moves on. Loser is done. All trying to get to the top seed, Norm Duke. Our ESPN commentator slash PBA star. Today he's on the lanes. Tony stays hot. 60 feet to success. Tony Reyes gets the job done. That's the clincher. And he had his path so consistently lined up today. Mike DeVaney didn't bowl badly.
No, really a little bit of bad luck. He could shoot 259 here, and to not even have a chance in the 10th frame is a little bit unlucky.
We'll fast track here, guys, because this match has been clinched by Tony Reyes, so they'll hustle through the last few shots in the interest of time for us. And a good week ends here for Mike DeVaney.
Look, keep in mind, though, that Mike DeVaney had a top 10 at the U.S. Open where they were brutally tough. This week he makes a show on a fairly high-scoring pattern, so he's the real deal. He's got the whole package, and Ryan Shafer said that he's one of the most underrated players out here.
Mike told us yesterday doesn't make a lot of shows, makes a lot of cuts, prides himself on consistency, and that will
I will, man. Thanks.
tie in exactly to what Ryan Shafer said about Mike DeVaney. One
Hang in there,
Californian
LJ.
dispatches Lee Johnson, a bowler in Bloomington, Indiana, one of his good friends. A shout out to Lee. Tony gets the job done in the first match. Special competition going on. Chris Barnes and Rolf Anderson, who's from Arizona. He was our Pepsi Roll Like a Pro sweepstakes winner. This shot, had he had a strike after Chris's advice, would have given him $25,000. But he still gets 8 pins, $1,000 a pin for $8,000, and was presented with a big check by Chris and Frank DeSocio of Strike 10 Entertainment.
Strike 10 Entertainment and Pepsi Cola. Here's a check for $8,000.
Pretty good day for Rolf Anderson. Chris, what'd you tell him before that? One shot for the $25,000.
Well, I told him to go Brooklyn. So.
You did not. We're set now for Reyes Shafer. The reason that Randy is laughing so hysterically has to do with Chris winning the Motel 6 Roll the Riches last year in Dallas with a Brooklyn strike that crossed over the head pin for the clincher against Mike Scroggins.
Listen, anytime you need
$200,000.
anytime you need one shot for all the cash, go to your power alley, man. Throw it Brooklyn. Chris made $200 grand that day, and I'll tell you what, I'll do it any day of the week for $200 grand.
All right, here's Reyes. Match 2 underway, and he's got a 10-pin. Chris, we talked a lot about top seeds struggling because they've got to wait for bowlers like Tony to work their way up the ladder in this type format. Tony has the momentum. Does that help him?
It should help him. I mean, he just came off a 270 game. He's bowled great. He has a great feel for the lanes. And the one thing about playing them straighter is they don't change quite as much.
When they do change, you have to make an adjustment. It doesn't seem to be as big an adjustment. And when you're playing in and hooking it, you can end up moving 5, 6, 7 boards in one shot. When you're playing straighter and your ball's not reading it as much, you just move 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah, you get a little warning. Get a 4-pin, not a big 4.
Here's Ryan Shafer. Southern Tier, New York State, near Binghamton, Horseheads, New York. He's the 3 seed. Look out, comes in light. As he's to the right of that 1-2 pocket, and he's got a difficult shot to deal with here.
Well, as you noticed, Randy was talking about earlier about the 3 lines. Ryan's playing in around the 21st board at the arrows. He's still getting the same spot, that last targeting range, about a couple of boards right of it, but that one didn't quite make the corner.
And he said no matter what he tried this week, he could not go straight. He had to hook it. He hooked it in this tournament from start to finish.
2-4-7. 10 rather, as he tries to kick that to the 10-pin, cannot get it down. Randy, let's go to the ace matchup. After Shafer has that open frame, what happened there?
Well, again, he's trying to play that line that got him here, and that ball got to that same break point that everybody else is using. It just didn't come off of that spot hard enough. But he said the reason why he had to hook it, why he had to be so far left, is because his ball read the front part of the lane too early when he went straight. So he moves into the middle part of the lane to find some more scoot. Now here's the adjustment. Wow, what a big jump to the right that was.
Ball change.
Ball change and about 2 arrows to the right. And all of a sudden, that looks like the right spot to be in. That's the spot DeVaney was in.
Arrows. Right at 11.
Right at 11 and out that same spot right around 7, 8.
What did the ball change do for Ryan there?
Well, he didn't feel like he could do it with the ball that he was trying to hook it with. He goes to a different ball, something that reads a little bit sooner. It's going to be a little bit more stable down the lane, not hook quite as violently down the lane.
Carry.
7-pin for Tony Reyes.
Now, as the matches go on, during the week, they got much, much better hooking them, and the scores went way up, games 4 and 5, from the left, from left of 15 on the lane. But these first couple games should favor Tony, and that's why DeVaney has played further right than he probably wanted to, and that's why Ryan has moved to the right as well.
Guys, our Flomax Weekly Update. Checking with Jeff Carter. U.S. Open, what a week it was for him. First ever show as he bids for his first title today. He is still alive in this event. Norm Duke finished 5th just out of the TV show with the top 4 in. DeVaney, Shafer, Reyes, except for Tony, all top 20 finishes. At the 64th U.S. Open, won by Pete Weber 2 weeks ago. 7-pin again.
Where's my lucky Irish charm?
That was yesterday, Tony. That list that was up, I just wanted to make mention that Mike DeVaney, for the week that we had off, didn't go back to California. He actually went to Ohio and won a regional.
All right.
Boy, 3 great shots in a row by Tony, and fortunately for Ryan, he's still got a chance. He can actually take the lead now with a double.
Yeah.
4th show of the year for Ryan, Japan Cup. Taylor, Michigan, was on that show that Tony had the 300 game and won. He was also the top seed, Stepladder format. Who'd he lose to on Long Island? None other than our top seed today, Norm Duke. He's found his line, it appears. All 10 down for Ryan Shafer. Been a bit of a struggle, however, in the second half of the year for him. After that show on the island to end the first half of our season. Did bowl well in Reno. 5th place finish there to begin the second half.
Jesus, Ryan.
Right through the nose, a high shot. Smack dab into the head pin, and a difficult split coming up.
Yeah, this shot here is just left. You use 11 on the lash on this lane. That's about 13. It's 2 boards inside a target. And when you're playing that direct, with his amount of rotation, there's just no way to hold it back.
And Chris, do you think that's a natural tendency for guys that like to hook it as soon as they move right and try to go straight, or their natural tendency is to miss left?
I think it's a natural tendency when you feel like your ball's not going to hook back. You just don't want to give the pocket away.
Picks it up.
Shot.
Great shot there.
3, 4, 6 spare. Nicely done by Ryan Shafer to keep himself in this match.
It's like shooting a 3-10 split, only a lot harder.
I think that's a natural tendency to actually not want to get the ball right when you feel like it's a little tighter down lane, and no matter what level player you are.
Tony stays high.
Tony rolling it a lot better than his brand new truck has been rolling down the road the last couple of weeks.
What a story that is.
Well, you know, he's got this brand new truck. He paid cash for it, about 35 grand, and it's got about 9,600 miles on it, and it's been in the shop 6 times. Can you say lemon?
He is currently in Washington, Pennsylvania. He had some serious mechanical issues driving here.
Yeah, like he's driving down the road, and all of a sudden the locks start going up and down. I mean, that's crazy.
Christine.
It is Christine.
He's not sure when he's going to get it back. Driving a rental right now. Has a 4-pin to deal with here.
Chris, what's happening is a transition. He shoots 279 the first game, and all of a sudden now he hits the pocket and can't strike.
Yeah, it looks like to me it's just hooking a little bit earlier. Both these shots, even the Stone 7, is just a touch high.
And why is it hooking early?
It should be just repeated shots. He's repeatedly hitting that 8th board every frame, and I think now the oil is transferring from the front of the lane to the back of the lane, making his laydown spot hook just a little bit more and pick up.
Randy mentioned earlier Tony dealing with back problems, a sciatic nerve issue. Has seen a chiropractor, went to an appointment in New Jersey during the U.S. Open. Feels better now. That had been bothering him for nearly a month. Long, grueling season out here for the Denny's PBA Tour bowlers. Shafer is back.
And again, in a lot of folks' opinion out here on tour, Ryan Shafer very underrated. Let me give you a stat. Since 2000, Ryan is 3rd all-time in television shows made at 32, tied with Norm Duke and just behind 2 superstars, and I'm sitting next to one of them.
He's 10th all-time in shows made. The leader, of course, is Walter Ray, 159. Chris Barnes, you're 9th on that list. Prestigious numbers with 48 shows. Norm Duke is 4th with 95. We see Norm as the top seed in 1 game today for the title. Shafer would like to join him.
That shot there was tight. Tight, yeah?
It was perfect. Ryan Shafer has rallied despite the early open frame. He now has an 8-pin lead on Tony Reyes at Stepladder bowling the Pepsi from Indy. We'll reveal the winner when we return. Special hello and thanks to Jim Doty, Ken Howard, general managers of Royal Pin Leisure Centers in Woodland Bowl. Woodland Bowl, part of the Royal Pin chain. One of 6 centers within that chain. Always glad to be back here. 24th Denny's PBA Tour event here. Indianapolis as a city hosting its 29th event. Goes way back to 1962, the Indy Open. We are headed on Go RVing on the road. Next week, Spectrum Lanes and DeVos Place, the arena final for the World Championship. Check the special start time, 2 o'clock Eastern. 3rd of 4th majors on the season. Pro-Am times, there you see them. Be sure to log on to PBA.com for each of the 2 Pro-Ams here on the screen. Bradley Bowl, Mohegan Sun as well. It's the TOC to finish up the regular season as well. We're all looking for those majors to wrap up our year.
Back in the match.
Points on the line for those who are trying to get in the cut line for the top 39, top 16 for the Japan Cup next year.
And this great city of Indianapolis is home to 2 tremendous bowlers, Mike Albee, Hall of Famer, and my good friend George Branham III.
One more here. Come on.
And I saw George last night. Great seeing my old friend again.
Come on. Time right here.
Tony feels confident. Looks for the double. 7th frame. He felt he was going to have a breakout year after his win 300 game in November in Detroit. But he knows week in and week out, competition is tough here.
High hard one, baby.
10 pin.
I know that the folks at home are watching, and they're trying to figure out why in the world can this guy only not strike once in the first game and shoot 279, and now his ball looks like it's doing the exact same thing, and it doesn't strike at all.
Difference a game makes. God.
And
And
Chris,
he hit on it right there.
that's why I'm in the booth, and you're still bowling.
Not really
What's the answer?
Well, and it's just that oil transitioning a little bit. Your break point changes
a little more.
only by a foot, maybe 2 feet at the most. It just bleeds out a little bit more energy in the front, ends up hitting a little bit softer, changes that entry angle just a little bit in the back. It doesn't seem like much. Visually, you almost can't tell at all. But it turns into 9 after 9.
Here's Shafer. Can he take advantage? He'll have a 10 pin as well. Much different line of the pocket for Ryan Shafer.
And he's moved in a little bit from the first shots when he moved out as well. Looked like he took that first shot where he went around 11. He's now moved 3 or 4 left and started to hook it a little bit more, create a little more angle down lane. That one a little too far right, came in behind the head pin.
Shafer takes care of the 10 pin. 73 events for Ryan without a victory, trying to break that slump. Now the practice lanes, there is Norm Duke. He'll be coming up in the championship match as the top seed, the runaway top seed of the Pepsi Championship this year. Stepladder format, round robin match play. And boy, has Norm been hot. 5th place just out of the TV number at the U.S. Open a couple weeks back. Jeff Carter never made a show before the U.S. Open. Now he's made 2 straight. And Mike DeVaney has had a great second half, a stretch run to this 06-07 season. Almost had the 7-10, then almost kicked out the 10 pin. And a single pin for a spare remains.
And as the carry goes away, so does the scoring pace, and that's why we've got one player in the 190s and the other player in Ryan Shafer going at a 204 clip with a spare here. So no matter how good it looks going down the lane, you still have to also figure out the right angle, the right ball, standing, looking in the right spot to get your ball to strike when it does hit the pocket.
Freddie, what about the career of Ryan Shafer? As we've talked about on our broadcast today, maybe the most underrated bowler, tremendous physical skills, but just the 4 titles so far.
Yeah, I think that I can go ahead and agree with that. I mean, he's finished like 3rd in 5 majors. Ryan has been there. He's made all of the telecasts. The only thing missing from his credentials are the wins. And you know what? It's a hit here or there, a break here or there on television, and all of a sudden Ryan's in double digits.
Oh, 10 down into the pit, crunching back. The shrapnel, Chris, is Tony Reyes with a perfect shot.
Rewrap.
And he probably made 1 or 2 adjustments. He can either get a little softer with his hand and push it through there, or he can tilt it a little bit more, which would involve him moving a little bit left and getting it down the lane with a little more angle.
Guys, all eyes on the starting line. Coverage of the NHRA Powerade Series continues on ESPN2. The AC Delco Gator Nationals. Join Paul Page, analyst Mike Dunn. The AC Delco Gator Nationals on ESPN2. Qualified coverage Saturday, 1 a.m. Eastern. Finals at 5 o'clock on Sunday. For more, log on to ESPN.com. He's been in the pocket, just hasn't struck in the second game.
Yeah!
There's a big one.
Man.
And that's a huge hit because that allows Tony Reyes to strike out the 10th frame for 228. The best Ryan Shafer can shoot is 224.
Come on. Yeah! One time, man.
Shafer works on a spare. Foundation frame.
Push.
It sure did.
And when you hear the players yell push, it's usually because it's a little left of target and they want the ball to go a little bit longer down the lane before it starts to make its move. And that's exactly the way this shot here behaves. Watch this. It's going to get to that spot. He says push. The ball does just enough to hit the 1-3 flush. Ryan Shafer knows the deal. He knows that he needs all three, and if he gets all three in the 10th, that'll force Tony Reyes to double and 7.
He's taking another re-rack here. Both re-racks allowed per game. Randy, what's the thought process?
Well, it's a couple of things. Either A, he doesn't like the configuration of the pins, or B, it just makes Tony Reyes sit that much longer on the bench before he completes his 10th frame.
With Ryan, I think maybe the first one was to get a little time. And the second one, he didn't like the rack. And he might have even said something, that one wasn't any better. So.
He's got to use this one.
Come on.
Big hit on the 10 pin.
Good re-rack, Ryan. Good re-rack.
Quite timely.
The only problem is he's out now, but that strike there forces Tony to get the first hit. This one will force Tony to get the second hit. And as bad as the carry has been for Tony Reyes throughout this match, maybe not as easy as it was in the first game.
Hold it.
Huge shot there, Chris.
Yeah, it's not like it was in the first game where it really didn't seem to matter. I mean, you could do what you wanted, but Tony was throwing every shot high flush, and they were all going down. This time, it seems no matter how good he throws it, he's having a little trouble getting out the corners. Those two were big.
Tenth frame, Phil shot here. Trying to keep the pressure on Tony. Stepladder final. Jeff Carter is next as the 2 seed. Top seed Norm Duke awaits all comers. Get some help. He'll take it on the 4-7, falling late. And a 224.
Finish one out for once.
That's what Tony needs. He's done very well on this lane. Can he keep it up?
Come on, carry.
Does not get the help he wanted on the 10 pin.
Chris, to me, it looked like Tony Reyes bowled a better game. He hit the pocket every ball, and the best he could do is bowl a 200 game. This match is over. Ryan Shafer will move on to take on Jeff Carter.
Perhaps the luck is changing for Ryan Shafer on TV, who's had such trouble once he gets to the show of having success. Bowls well enough here, and he'll take out Tony Reyes in the second match.
Okay. Might have been done in your 300 game, man. I hear you. Good game. Keep it up, man. You deserve it, all right?
224, 207. Jeff Carter is next. Shafer survives. More bowling from Indy on the way.
I won one.
The Pepsi Championship on ESPN is brought to you by Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free DVD. What will you discover? Go RVing. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit Geico.com. And by Prescription Flomats. We are back. Ryan Shafer, Jeff Carter getting set for match number 3. Pepsi Championship from Indianapolis. This great bowling city hosting its first event back in 1962, the Indianapolis Open at Play Bowl, won by Billy Wallou. He was inducted into Hall of Fame in 1975. By Randy Peterson and Chris Barnes, all with you. Norm Duke is bowling today, so Norm will not be in the booth because he is competing. Billy Wallou, excuse me about that. Get that right.
Billy Wallou had my job in the beginning of the Pro Bowlers Tour on television. After Billy Wallou was Nelson Burton Jr.
Shafer starts us. Third match. All 10 down for Ryan. Head-to-head for the first time ever with Jeff Carter, who comes to us from Springfield, Illinois. Jeff had never been on TV. The 37-year-old made the U.S. Open with a tremendous run for round-robin match play. Total pinfall there. Same format here. And Chris, same result, back-to-back shows.
He may be the hottest player on tour right now.
I got to tell you guys, I'm really proud of what Jeff Carter has done. You see his mom and dad are here along with his daughter Kaylin, and the success that he's had the last couple of weeks, and it's obvious that success breeds confidence. Jeff being a very lighthearted, quick-witted kind of guy. I consider him one of my good friends out here, and I'm very proud of what he's been able to accomplish the last couple of weeks.
So Caitlin is here. She's 9 years old, and son Trey, who's 2, back home in Illinois watching on TV. High-flush strike, Jeff Carter. He had a lot of regional success until his last 3 weeks on tour, when he has just been blitzing the field to make 2 shows.
And guys, when we talk about the PBA experience where you have an opportunity to bowl league and experience the same type of oil pattern that we're bowling on, we talked about the multiple angles. You can see Jeff Carter now doing it, Ryan Shafer going straight, Jeff Carter hooking it. We talked about the different angles on this pattern. And Chris, you know a lot about this since you are an official spokesperson for USBC. Tell us a little bit more about that and how you would experience what our guys are doing here today.
Well, that's the whole premise behind the PBA experience, is that you get to bowl on the exact same things that we bowl on tour. The response this year has been tremendous. I think there's over 700 leagues now actively participating in PBA experience leagues, and you get to play different angles. You get on something besides your average house shot, and you get to learn how to bowl on some things that are a little bit tougher, and it ups your experience level very quickly and your talent level as well.
Experience League started January 1st. Chris appearing on flyers, videos. PBA.com, bowl.com. You can get information on the PBA Experience Leagues. Randy, Ace Hardware matchup here. Shafer, Carter, break it down for us.
Well, Ryan Shafer with all the television experience, the 4 titles. But I'll tell you what, like Chris Barnes said, there may not be a hotter bowler on tour right now the last couple of weeks than Jeff Carter. And, you know, a guy that was just a so-so player. He was just doing okay out here right around the exempt cut number. It's all of a sudden finishing 3rd at the U.S. Open and back on television once again.
He's making a rear run at the Japan Cup right now.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you this. You see the 2 different lines that the players are playing. Ryan Shafer going much straighter. Jeff Carter in and hooking it a lot. Who would you give the advantage to at this point?
Well, because the lanes have broke down more and they're getting easier, I think the advantage actually goes to Jeff Carter because he uses more entry angle through the pocket.
Top 16 make the Japan Cup. We saw Jeff's ranking there a moment ago. Chris alluded to his run at the top 16, 23rd coming into this show today.
Oh, push.
That comes in high. And a difficult split here. 4-7-9. Randy, what's he do here?
Well, he got that ball left. You heard that word again, that the famous word that we like to use when we make a mistake left is push. That ball doesn't. It goes through the nose. He needs to get the ball over here left of the 4-pin, drive it into the 9. The ball will take care of the 7.
Just 20% split conversion so far. Will not get it. Open frame. 4-9 is up. And Chris, Jeff had said to us last night, he really was trying to ride the momentum of the U.S. Open success, trying to learn from that first experience on TV. Sometimes you face adversity. You got to rally on television. It's not easy.
Well, you have to make decisions so much faster. TV is just it's micromanaged compared to everything else during the week, where you might get to hang on for a half a game or a game. Here, basically in a frame or two, you have to make the right decision, and you need to do it much sooner.
It does hold. And a great start continues for Ryan Shafer.
Guys, I think the other thing that makes Ryan Shafer such a great player is he's not afraid to make adjustments. He's not afraid to take chances. And you saw the first ball that he threw in the last match. He played in, came in late, left that big ugly split. And what does he do? He immediately changes bowling balls and moves a couple of arrows to the right and starts firing it around second arrow. He's not afraid.
blocks for the front 5. Can he stay perfect? All 10 down. What a start for Shafer. Jeff Carter worked on his timing in the off week. Watching footwork in relation to the downswing and the release. And he thought that helped him. Chris one day took a couple hours doing that. And Jeff Carter with a nice strike there, relating that Randy to the atomic edge with his delivery.
Well, it's all about the timing, like you said, Dave, and keeping that elbow in. You see that hand open. What this does is create a lot of axis rotation and a lot of down lane reaction. And that's the form that helped him average 261 in league a couple of years ago.
Wanted to come out today, told us to really attack the lanes, be aggressive. With shots like that. Ryan Shafer with his perfect start has a huge lead on Jeff Carter from Springfield, Illinois, the semifinal. The winner takes on Norm Dukes for the championship, the Pepsi championship here in Indy. Well, we all know the answer because Norm will be in the championship match. That's right, it's the top seed here, Stepladder Bowling at Woodland Bowl, Indianapolis. Norm, a tremendous week. More than 3,000 bowling fans have already joined the fun at bowling's digital destination, bowlspace.com. Bowlspace, the first online social network exclusively for bowlers where you can share pictures, videos, stories with bowlers from around the world. To create your own profile, simply click on the Bowlspace link on PBA.com today.
Dave, I'm going to blackmail you with a couple of bowling pictures of you. Bowlspace.
No one wants to see that. It is not pretty.
42 feet to gutter ball.
Motel 6, 6th frame here for Shafer. He has the front 5, $600 for 6 straight, which he accomplishes. It comes from Motel 6, the official logic partner of the PBA. Also eligible for a $6,000 bonus if he throws in front 6 more than any other bowler this year. I couldn't get 6 pins, much less 6 straight strikes.
I mean, he made it look like that shot was worth $6. He just got up there so smoothly,
Again,
so calmly.
I think that's the hardest shot to throw is that first one out of the break. And he probably put the hammer on Jeff Carter now.
Yeah. Ryan's not fooling around.
How about 7 straight?
Will help.
Oh, you'll get it, Ryan. 7 in a row to start the match here with Jeff Carter. We've had a 300 game on TV this season. Just one. Tony Reyes back in November, we told you about.
Holding offense. Guy in the maroon shirt.
Jeff, by winning the Midwest Region title last year, became one of the regional champs on the Denny's PBA Tour. Exempt this season.
A lot of
Look
help.
out.
Wow.
There's a lot of help.
It was indeed.
It must be the crazy witchcraft from the puka shells he's wearing, but he gets the greatest break one can imagine here. When he comes in light, he's looking at the 2-4-10 or 2-10 split and trips a 2-pin forward. He goes, okay, enough of that nonsense.
It's almost like they thought he was Tommy Jones.
Last year's Player of the Year, Tommy Jones, just one title this season. So Jeff Carter, 11 regional championships.
Yes.
Won the title last year in the Midwest Regional with David Barris. And now makes his second TV show in 102 career events. He will not, it appears, win his first career title. So look at the perfect games. The average way up heading into this event. Average up 5.89 from 3.91, Chris, from a year ago. How do you explain that?
Well, we just had more oil in the front part of the lane this year. The taper front to back's been bigger. That allows guys to get the ball down the lane easier and create more angle on the back end.
Now, the bottom line is the pattern's played easier this year. Plain and simple.
He's got 8 in a row to begin this game.
Re-rack, please.
He'll take a re-rack right here. We've had 10 300s this week at this event before today, including Mike DeVaney and Tony Reyes.
Let's go back to match number 2. This is the very first shot that he threw against Tony Reyes, and you can see the 2-4-10. So this is a ball change that he makes. He ends up making that split. And this is where he's at now. He's just absolutely firing it right around second arrow. And right now, he is perfect through 8 frames. Great adjustment from a great player who's not afraid to take chances.
He's thrown 39 career 300 games. How about 9 straight? You bet. 9 in a row.
He knew that was good right off his hand.
Hey, maybe if he shoots 300 and goes on to win the tournament, maybe folks will start to realize just how great this guy is. This is called 10 back. It's like a vortex just sucked those pins right off the deck.
Tony Reyes this season, Mika Koivuniemi 03, Norm Duke 03. Last 3 300 games on TV. That's a high shot. Jeff Carter out of this one.
Yeah, this is the shot that Jeff's really been working on. He says when his elbow gets out that everything goes bad, but it really starts with his timing. He's a 6-step guy. He likes getting his push away between the second and third step. When he gets it in a little bit too early, it's like that. His feet get fast. He pulls his swing down. The elbow goes out, and he ends up left with tilt.
Takes down a nice split. Wow, that was difficult pickup there for Jeff Carter.
But Chris, how much of that shot was because he went light? He got it too far right the last time on this lane and left it too. And as you can see, this is really the only way to make that split, and he does it perfectly. But how much of it was the residue from the shot before on that lane?
Well, I think that probably had something to do with it for sure. He missed his target by quite a ways right, though, so I think he probably had that out of his mind. But he definitely shut it down quick.
Caitlin rooting on her dad.
Another
Nice
bad shot.
Crossing over, and
What do you mean that was
lucky
a bad
there
shot, Randy? That was a rack adjustment right there.
as he crosses over the head pin for a Brooklyn strike. And I guess Jeff heard you clearly there, Randy.
You think Jeff knows we're talking about him? Jeff, the only other player that I know of other than Pete Weber that uses a full glove on his right hand. He cuts the thumb out, and he says it's to protect his fingers. Same thing that Pete Weber does. Ryan Shafer is mathematically eliminated. Jeff Carter will take this experience on to next week, and Ryan Shafer hopes to shoot a perfect 300 game.
Jeff involved with his dad. We saw his
You wanna
father
try it?
here at their family lumber yard business. They also have ownership in hotels and a couple bowling centers in the Springfield, Illinois area. A very astute businessman and has done well in the last few weeks after such great regional success. On the national tour, he's been something. Double wood, successful, but not the 10-pin. And the day will end for Jeff Carter.
It's a testament to hard work. He's put in the time, he's put in a lot of effort, and he's improved a lot over the last 3 years. He's gone from being a great league bowler and the highest average ever to he's becoming a great tour player in a hurry.
Three more strikes. That's what he needs for perfection. There's one.
Come on, Ryan.
Norm Duke has done this as well, guys. We told you about January 2003 against the great Walter A. Williams Jr. That was the 15th all-time televised 300. Since then, Mika Koivuniemi, Windsor Locks, Connecticut, in the blizzard just off the airport in Hartford in 03. And this year, Tony Reyes, November 5th, 06. Needs 2 more for a 300.
Come on, get it! That's it!
The 10-pin goes down. He needs 1 more for a perfect game. The messenger across the deck takes out number 10.
Watch this. The headpin's going to go to the sidewall. We call it the scout, the bird dog. I call this a thing of beauty. Here's the trip. Here's the reaction. One more strike for a perfect 300 game.
What's he need to do here to make his best shot?
Turn it off. $10,000 bonus for the PBA if he's successful. He did it! Yes! 300, Ryan Shafer!
Unbelievable!
Hey, we're going to be on ESPN. Great job.
Unbelievable!
Great job. Awesome.
Unbelievable! I can't even throw 300 and lead!
Way to go, kid!
He'll hug PBA legend Carmen Salvino, our commissioner Fred Schreier as well. For the first time in his career, Ryan Shafer throws a 300 game on TV. The 18th all-time. The thing is, he's got one more match to go. He's still got to take on the top seed Norm Duke. Emotions running high here in Indianapolis. First time since 1999, Steve Jarrett's Mike Miller accomplished the feat. 2 300 games in a single season thanks to Ryan Shafer's perfect game in the Stepladder, and that's where we stand. He knocked off Jeff Carter with his 300 game, the 18th ever on TV. PBA history, he takes on now the top seed Norm Duke. Next week, third of 4 majors, the Denny's World Championship. Note the special time here on ESPN, 2 o'clock Eastern from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Looking forward to bringing you the third of 4 major championships. It's a big one, $100,000 on the line. Norm Duke is the top seed. Randy, that leads us to the Geico Championship recap.
I'm having a hard time catching my breath, man. Match number 1, Tony Reyes. He takes on Mike DeVaney. And he beats Mike DeVaney by the score of 279 to 248.
Let's go. I will, man. Thanks.
In match number 2, Tony advances to take on Ryan Shafer. Ryan Shafer gets the best of him, 224 to 207.
I hear you. Keep it up, man. Keep it driven, all right?
And then in match number 3, Ryan Shafer takes on Jeff Carter. And what does he do? He's perfect.
The Geico Championship recap. What did Ryan Shafer say over and over? Unbelievable. Now he's got to forget that and get ready for Norm Duke. The title match is next. For that trophy, we welcome you back. Woodland Bowl, Indianapolis, Pepsi Championship. We're ready for the title match. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, Chris Barnes in for Norm Duke because Norm is the top seed. And he's got to win just the one match to take home his 26th title. He's thinking about Player of the Year. He told us last night he will win Player of the Year. But Randy can't get there unless he wins today.
And he's going to have his hands full in this title match. Remember the last time Norm won, he climbed the ladder, played out the whole time. Nobody could get near him. Ryan tried to chase out there, and now it looks like the situation's reversed.
There's a late tap on number 4, so
He got a warning.
he's got 13 straight strikes now as Shafer comes off that 300 game.
It's actually 17. He starts from game 3.
That's right, game 3. Yeah.
17 in a row.
Amazing. 25 and 25 for the Hall of Famer Norm Duke. He is perfect on TV this year with wins in Hammond. His victory on Long Island to wrap up the first half of the season. Who'd he beat in the final? Ryan Shafer, who was the top seed there. Norm has owned Ryan on TV, and look out! Can you believe the start for Norm Duke? A 7-10.
This shot may be the furthest he's played all week. I've never seen him left to 10. He's been playing around the 6th or 7th board and playing right to left. This is up the lane, and this is the problem when you got straight from a little bit further left on the lane. The ball doesn't get through the pins.
Yeah, that didn't hit very well at all, and unfortunately, instead of just a weak 10, ooh, Instead of weak 10, now it's a pocket 7-10 and an open frame to start the match. And I think Norm is caught in between just about everything out there. He can't play the line that he played all week long. That's too far right. He can't move in and go around it or hook it more. That doesn't look good. So now what he's trying to do is get real close to where Ryan Shafer's playing, yet Ryan still has a lot of hand, a lot of rotation, even though he doesn't have a lot of hook. Ryan's ball's driving through the pins. That shot there for Norm Duke looked like it was a little DOA when it got there.
Ball change.
And a much better shot for Norm Duke, who plays from the outside, as Chris mentioned, all week. He was concerned he'd have to start hooking the ball on TV based on what the other bowlers were doing to the lanes.
Chris, will that shot hold up? Will Norm be able to bowl a big enough game doing that?
Well, the only thing that hurts him is no experience. He has no games this week at all from left of the 10th board, and so this guess is going to have to be right immediately.
New record for Ryan Shafer. Tries to extend on it, and will.
18 bagger.
Wow.
That's right, you heard me. 18 bagger.
Not bad.
Kid's got game.
He told us last night he knows very well what his record is head-to-head with Norm. He's 1-5 all-time on TV against Norm Duke. He's 0-3 in title matches. Also 95 in addition to the event in Long Island we told you about last season in Atlanta on Super Bowl Sunday. Perhaps this is the time for redemption. That came in light, and the run ends with an incredible 18 straight strikes, leaves the 2. Chris, what about his emotions? And we saw how excited he was. He couldn't believe it, said that over and over after the 300 game. How can you possibly bring yourself back to reality after the 300 TV and try to focus on the final?
Honestly, I'm surprised he started out with a double. His emotions were so high, and your blood's pumping so fast that it's difficult to get back in that same zone that you were in before that. That being said, he came out with a double right away and thought he was over. But that shot there looked like he grabbed at it a little bit. Maybe he ended up missing it just a little bit at the bottom. A little too much speed to move off the 4-pin combined and got it to go by the head pin.
I think this next shot, guys, from Norm Duke is really going to tell a lot about this title match.
All 10 down for Norm. Leading us to the Ace Hardware matchup, and Randy, it's been a difficult stretch for Norm. 8 weeks pretty much. He lost to this year due to the broken toe he suffered in Reno to begin the second half of the season way back in January.
Yeah, but he's got enough games under his belt now with the U.S. Open where he finished 5th, and he said he had no game there. He had a great spare game, no strike game. But he says now he's all over it, and he's feeling good. Toes 100%. And Norm is doing something that I haven't seen in a while. He's playing the 2 lanes completely different. He's going a little bit straighter with a little bit of hand on the right lane. On the left lane, he's hooking it a lot.
Broken right pinky toe in his hotel room in January. And all 10 down again for Norm Duke. He's right back in the match after the early open. A turkey for Duke, 3 straight strikes. And we're all tied up. It's the championship match from Indianapolis. The Pepsi Championship on ESPN is brought to you by Ace, the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. By Bear, the more you know, the more you trust Bear. By Atonic, the official footwear of the PBA. Atonic, first one there. And by Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA. For the lowest price of any national chain, go to motel6.com. Welcome back, everyone. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, Chris Barnes with you from Indianapolis. Norm Duke, Ryan Shafer in the finals, where Norm has won roughshod over Shafer in his career. He's won 5 of 6 TV matches head-to-head. They're all even. Norm Duke has never won in this building. frame for Shafer. 10-pin.
Pretty good shot there for a ring and 10. 1 and 5 all time. Of course, there's a lot of guys that can say that. After you win 25 or 26 times. Chris, how many times have you lost to Norm? I can tell you that I lost Tournament of Champions against that guy. 1 pin. I never let him forget it.
Single pin number is pretty good. And Shafer takes care of business. The 87 PBA Rookie of the Year. Randy, you talked about earlier, 3rd in 5 different majors. That's where Ryan Shafer has finished. So it's been an excellent career. But just maybe one of those majors in there. It's 21 years on tour and the 4 titles. You put a major next to his name, maybe 6, 7 titles, different story.
Absolutely, and again, we talked about it earlier. You're talking about one good break going his way in all those tournaments. I mean, just one hit, one break, one trip 4, one 10-pin that goes down. Makes all the difference.
Nope. That's high. And only 6 pins in count for Ryan Shafer.
Well, this looks like a move right off the last shot where he went light again, tried to force it to stay up the lane, and it hooked really early. This left lane, you could tell, has been hooking earlier than the right lane all day long. It's going to be difficult for him to move right on that lane.
And right now he's faced with the 3-6-9-10, which is the toughest spare to convert on the Denny's PBA Tour. That's a non-split or washout.
And he does convert. Why is that, Randy?
Because of the back pin. The 9-pin, the ball has to hook into that spare to cover the back pin, and a lot of times there's oil to the outside part of the lane, and if you get it a little bit too far to the right, it kind of skids and misses it right, and if you get a little left of that, it overhooks and you chop it. So no easy task. But right now, this guy here, Norm Duke, it's like somebody just threw raw meat into the lion's cage.
Looks for the 4-bagger, 5th frame. Will get some luck. A late hit on the 8-pin, down she goes.
Now remember, the first frame, Norm Duke left a pocket 7-10, and it's all about making adjustments, and this guy's a master. What does he do? He changes balls and jumps way into about the 28th board with his feet. Well, he didn't like that, so the next time he got back to the left lane, he moved back to the right about another 7 or 8. Norm Duke is all over the place, but here's the ticket. He makes moves with conviction. He's totally 100% committed to every adjustment he makes.
Great example of how much strategy is involved on show day. These bowlers must think head-to-head with the lanes. And down goes the 10.
Are you kidding me? He said another 7-10. Not in my building, pal. Looked like a Chris Barnes messenger.
Norm is bumped. After the open early, look at that, 25-pin lead. He's got a 5-bagger going. Shafer's on the ropes here. 6th frame, 10-pin.
Hard to throw it much better than that right there.
Well, it was like the Tony Reyes match. The first game he shoots 279. The next game he hits the pocket every ball into the strike. Ryan shoots 300, throws 18 in a row, and all of a sudden now he goes back-to-back ring and 10s on the right lane. And it's just all about carry down, the lane's breaking down. My question to you, my friend, what adjustment does Ryan Shafer make?
I really think he's going to have to get a little bit softer and hook it a little bit more. Get into a little bit pressure part of the lane and get the ball to store.
Shafer's 7th in the ranking, guys. Norm Duke is 8th right now. Let's check out the Denny's PBA Tour World Point rankings. The cut line right now is at number 39. So Tim Chris, if the tour were to end today, would be in. Patrick Healy Jr. has won many times on tour, including a TOC. A major would be out. And how about Hall of Famer Brian Voss? He'd be out of the number, would not be exempt next year. We have figured that Brian Voss needs, with 1 week to go, at least a round of 16 finish next week at the World Championships, where the last points are awarded. There are no points in the TOC to get on tour. There's a split. Randy, how about those numbers?
Slane just broke down just like that.
Are you surprised about Brian Voss?
I am. I really am surprised. There's a lot of guys on that list that aren't going to be out on this tour anymore. Rick Steele-Smith, Tim Chris, whether he gets exempt or not, is retiring after this season. We all want to wish Tim Chris the best of luck in his future endeavors. And we're all going to miss Turtle out here, but you know, it's the way it is with the all-exempt tour now. It happened to me. It continually happens year in and year out. And a lot of these guys are my friends, and I've bowled out here a long time with them, and along with other guys, and they're going to be missed.
Shafer is missing pins, unfortunately, right now. Leaves the 6 pin there. That was the wrap up the first half of our year in December on Long Island, New York. Norm ran the table, as he looks like he'll do here to win the title match over Ryan. Chris, that day on the island, he won all of his matches coming from the last seed, climbing the ladder to win 4 against New York State guys, all of them.
It was pretty amazing that he did make it through all 4 of those guys, and he thought it was going to play the other way, where he was going to have to move to where Ryan Shafer was playing. However, the emotion of Ryan shooting 300 seems to have affected him moving to the next game. Norm made the move early in the game while Ryan was still getting his emotions back under him. He looks like he's going to come out on top.
Hey guys, let's keep in mind that, remember when Norm Duke bowled his 300 game, he ends up losing to Mike DeVaney in the title match. So there's a big lull, big letdown after you bowl 300. And like I said, that's, I think, what was so amazing about what Tony Reyes did earlier in the year in Taylor, Michigan. Tony Reyes was able to bowl 300, regroup, and come back and bowl a strong game to beat Wes Malott to win his first title. Hard to do, tall order.
At the very beginning this week, Norm has talked about his run to Player of the Year. He's done it twice in his career before. He wants to win this tournament, win a major. He's won twice already this season. This will be his tour best 3rd win of the year.
Shot there, Ryan. And Chris, what does Norm have to do? We give him the win here today, unless something dramatic happens towards the end. Norm, let's give him the win here. What does Norm Duke have to do in the next 2 weeks to win Player of the Year honors?
I really think he still might have to make a show at a major. The weeks he's bowled has been fantastic. I think if he'd bowled those 2 months that he was off, point-wise, he would be high enough up. He would probably be leading in just about every category. But because he hasn't, he's in the middle of points. Wes Malott has made the most shows. He has the most points. He's second to Norm in average. Right now, Wes might still get my vote, but Wes is also going to have to probably make a show at a major.
And Randy, the PBA membership votes for this, so everyone membership-wide has their say. 7 events due to that broken toe suffered in January in Reno, Nevada. He's won the Player of the Year twice, 94 and 2000. He's coming off a great season where he won the George Young High Average Award and the Harry Smith Point Leader Award. He does lead in average this year. Swinging 10.
And all Norm has to do right now is fill shots, because if he marks here in the 9th and marks in the 10th, he's going to be in the 230s and the high 230s. And the best Ryan Shafer can shoot is 220. A spare here, good count and a mark in the 10th frame, and Norm Duke is going to win his 26th title.
There's a 10 pin, and a top seed will win another stepladder event. Over the last 2 years, top seeds have struggled. We documented that well in our broadcast. They're 2 and 10. Jason Couch ended the long run at Fountain Valley, California. Then Patrick Allen won in Omaha as a top seed. Just 2 weeks ago, Pete Weber won the U.S. Open over Wes Malott. Wes was the top seed.
7 pins, guys. Norm Duke's a winner.
He'll do it.
That's it. Boy, does he have Ryan Shafer's number on television or what?
26th career title, Norm Duke.
Chris, he was emphatic when he said, Randy, I will win Player of the Year honors this year.
And I think there's a lot of guys that feel that way, or they should feel that way right now. But maybe they want it. He believes it right now, and that may be the difference. There's a half a dozen other guys that got a legitimate shot at it still, I think. But he sure puts himself on track.
has said 2 more majors left. He believes he's bowling as well as anyone on the planet right now, and he's backing it up with an impressive win today.
Again, kudos to Ryan Shafer. What a great week for him, and the perfect 300 game. And he just gets caught up like a lot of the guys out here get caught up. When the lanes start to break down, they start to change. If you get stuck in the middle of that, it just doesn't matter. You don't make the move soon enough. You don't see it soon enough. And that's exactly what happened to Ryan Shafer.
And that's, yeah, exactly. That's what it looked like. It looked like his ball started to hook a little bit sooner. He got confused a little bit in that left lane. The one shot, the 2-pinned, turned the whole thing upside down for him. He makes a move off of it. The next one goes high. The next one 4-6. The left lane was key for him. And he wasn't able to figure it out after the 3rd frame.
A tremendous day for Ryan Shafer, and what a week for him. Will end in disappointment, certainly, and his old nemesis, Norm Duke, takes him down again. Still, he'll have the 300 game to remember for a lifetime. It's the 18th all-time Denny's PBA Tour history on TV. That was something to watch, but Chris, I agreed. How do you come down from that and then face the great Norm Duke, who's the runaway leader in the stepladder format, round-robin match play?
Because one of these days I'm going to beat your ass on TV.
One of these days, Ryan, but not today.
Oh, honey, look at that. Thank you.
3 shows this year, 3 titles. Norm Duke, he leads the tour with the 3 victories. Will it be enough for Player of the Year? That's the question. Congratulations to Norm Duke. We're coming to you from Grand Rapids, Michigan, the Boss Arena next week, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. The Denny's World Championship, 3rd of 4 majors. If Norm performs well there, you never know, he might have a shot for Player of the Year. We'll see you at 2 o'clock Eastern from Michigan next week.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Ryan Shafer made history today. His first ever 300 on TV, but it came against Jeff Carter before the championship match. And it got mowed down by Norm Duke in the final. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now for the entire crew, Chris Barnes, Randy Peterson, Dave Ryan saying so long. College Game Night Update presented by Pizza Hut is coming up. Norm Duke, a winner in